This briefing gives background information for the SEND consultative workshops. This briefing is about the money for children and young people with SEND. It covers high needs funding, what it is, how much is in Tower Hamlets, the purpose of high needs funding, and other money that schools receive. Finally, is there enough money for SEND? High needs funding block. High needs funding is the main finance to support children and young people with high levels of SEND. It comes from the government, who use a formula to work out how much each local council should get. The formula takes into account the number of children with an EHCP and other information about social need. How much high needs funding in Tower Hamlets? Last year, Tower Hamlets Council received just over £50 million, a small increase from the previous year. But the council spent £53.7 million last year on services and support for children and young people with SEND, an overspend of £3.2 million. This overspend is nearly double the overspend in the previous year. If nothing changes, we estimate this overspend could be more than £10 million a year by 2022. The purpose of high needs funding. Government sets out that the purpose is to commission, i.e. work out the numbers of places and pay for these at special schools and alternative provision schools and at special resource bases which are located at some primary and secondary schools in Tower Hamlets, and to provide the top-up funding for the support for children with an EHCP. The way this is done and the amounts is decided by each local council independently. The money schools receive. School budgets broadly have three types or elements of money that they receive from government. Element 1, a payment for every pupil attending, a little over £6,000 per pupil per year in Tower Hamlets. Element 2, also called notional SEN budget, an amount every school receives to provide additional support for its pupils with SEND, in particular those at SEN support. It works out at about £6,000 per pupil per year. It is not ring-fenced, and schools can decide how best to use that money. Element 3, which is another name for top-up payments that apply to each pupil and their EHCP. SEND funding, is there enough? It is widely thought that high needs funding from government has not kept up with the growing number of children and young people with SEND. Some figures place as much as £500 million a year more being needed to properly fund the needs of these children. 3/4 of local councils in England report that they overspend their high needs funding. How to put pressure on government? The House of Commons Education Select Committee is running an inquiry at the moment into SEND, and local councils, on behalf of all London boroughs, are highlighting difficulties in London. In total, the overspend in London is around £94 million per year, and there has been at least a 25% increase in the numbers of children and young people with an EHCP since 2010.